Good evening, everybody, and welcome to MMTV Volume 6. Hello, Manchester! We are live at the Marley Mancunia studios in Miles Platin in Manchester. If this first time you've watched it, what it is, it's proper rock and roll television live from Manchester, where we've got loads and loads of top music guests, loads and loads of top sports guests, and just an hour of great proper entertainment. It is raw rock and roll television live from Manchester, so please do expect a little bit of effing and jeffing here and there. Let me tell you what is going to be on the show today. Coming up later on, live music from the Big Peach. We're going to be talking to the legendary music journalist and frontman of the Membranes, John Robb. John Robb's going to be here. We've got a band who disappeared a few years ago. They're back on the scene. I can't find out where they've been. We're going to find out. Alias Kid. We are going to be talking to a great legendary coach in the boxing world, Mr. Bobby Rimmer. Bobby Rimmer's here. And as well as that, if you're looking to your left-hand side of my right, you may be wondering what Tunes News is. I, too, am wondering what Tunes News is, but we're going to find out a little bit later on because the legend that is MC Tunes is now part of our team on MMTV. There he is down there. Just getting himself ready. To start off, will you please put your hands together and welcome a great band from Manchester. Put your hands together and welcome the C33s.
Seek him, but keep him inside your head. Make him and break him and free him and take him, but keep him inside your head. Love him and leave him and hide him and seek him, but keep him inside your head. Make him and break him and free him and take him, but keep him inside your head. Knowing inside he's dead. If life's worth living, you'll be the reason why. Life's worth living, you'll be the reason why. Choose him, refuse him, and hide him, and lose him, but keep him inside your head. Trust him, or bust him, and catch him, or push him, but keep him inside your head. Choose him, refuse him, and fight him, and lose him, but keep him inside your head. Trust him, or bust him, and catch him, or push him, but keep him inside your head. Knowing inside he's there. If life's worth living, you'll be the reason why. Life's worth living, you'll be the reason why. Life's worth living, you'll be the reason why. Love him and leave him and hide him and seek him, but keep him inside your head. Love him and leave him and hide him and seek him, but keep him inside your head. Love him and leave him and hide him and seek him, but keep him inside your head. Love him and leave him and hide him and seek him, but keep him inside your head. Knowing inside he's dead. Knowing inside he's dead. If life's worth living, you'll be the reason why. Life's worth living, you'll be the reason why. Life's worth living, you'll be the reason why.
Thank you.
it's right. Better luck next time, soul seeker. Bad lovers, bad friends, bad songs to play at the end. Better luck next time, soul seeker. Everything you love is water, not some made of spoiled. Got a seeker, 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 seeker. Clean water, foul mind, gin tonic, landmine. Better luck next time, soul seeker. Exotic, twilight. Better luck next time, soul seeker. Everything you love is water, not some mayor spoiled. Got a seeker, 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 seeker. You're as relevant as a grain of sand from the beggar's boot, from the hand in hand. Seeker, 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 seeker. Oh! The bad friends, the bad songs to play at the end. Better luck next time, soul seeker. Bad lover, come back, bad mantra, high side. Better luck next time, soul seeker. Everything you love is water, not some mayor's spoiled. Seeker, 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 seeker. You're as relevant as the grain of sand from the beggar's boot, from the hand in hand. Seeker! 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 Seeker!
There we go, MMTV Volume 6. Make some noise for the C33s. I'll tell you what, let's find out a little bit about the band. Cav, how are you doing, man? You all right?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
Listen, cheers for taking the time out to join us
Look at that.
MMTV. It's good, that's you, isn't it? What's that, the CD cover?
It's not even pixelated either.
Yeah, it looks all right. There's rock and roll in it, you know what I mean? You don't want it proper, do you?
Do you fuck?
Listen, Cav, tell us a little bit about the band, the C33s. How long have you three been together?
Since February. We got together in February, didn't we?
Since February. It seems like you've been together a while. How did you come about? How did the three of you meet?
Well, we know each other. We all play instruments, so we thought, you know, fuck it, let's give it a go.
Listen to your music. It's very, very much like punky and garage rock and stuff like that. Who were your influences between you?
Don't know, we're into the Cramps, Dead Kennedys, The Clash. You know, those bands.
All the good stuff, all the good stuff. And have you got any gigs coming up or anything you want to give a bit of plug?
Yeah, we've got quite a few, haven't we? We've got Band on the Wall on the 14th of Feb. Yeah. Michelle Zenner. We've got the single launch on the 9th of March, which is the one you should be all coming to.
Where's that one at?
That's at Night People. We've a band from London called Moses. And we've got, you can help out, boys, you got a microphone there. What else we got? Come on, there's one more, isn't there? Ebden Bridge, supporting the blind.
Ebden Bridge, give me 6. Listen, really, really appreciate you opening.
That just fucking dropped then, isn't it?
Listen, if there's anyone from Ebden Bridge watching, no offence. Listen, thank you for taking the time out to join us today, opening us MMTV 6. Will you make some noise for the C33s?
Thank you.
Okay, we've got some more music shortly and some more live music soon, but the next person I'd like to introduce up is a few years ago there was a band from Manchester making all the right noises. It looked like they were going to be one of the biggest bands we'd ever seen in Manchester, and then they disappeared. They're back, find us where they've been. Will you please welcome from Alias Kid, Maz? Take a seat, take a seat. So, right, let's go back 4 years to 2015, right? You brought this album out called Revolt to Revolt. You were on tour with the Happy Mondays cast. You had Alan McGee behind you. You had so many smash hit records off it, like, you know, Smoke and Ashes, Zara Henna, you know, absolute bangers. And everyone was like, right, Manchester's next big band are here. And then you disappeared. Well, it looks that way, doesn't it? Let's be honest, you know what I mean? Where have you been?
Oh, cheers. Well, I think like we did all right. We was touring around with the Mondays, Black Grape and all that. Then we went over to Moscow, and I think the lads just thought they were famous. So basically, we finished. Is this on? Hello. I think like they thought they were too famous. I think so. They just all went off to the seaside, and that was basically it. So we came back. McGee's like, hey lads, write some more records, like that. So we're going. Okay, we're gonna do some new tunes. That's my McGee impression. Right. That's perfect. That. Sweeney's in Ebden Bridge anyway. So yeah. So he's like, write some records. Yeah. It's good, cheers, mate. So yeah, so we did. We went down to London. We did some stuff with youth, and like, you know, it wasn't clicking for us. So in the end, we ended up with Dan from the Mondays, and he's got us in the studio. He's got us recording with him, and he's basically turned it around for us now. So we've now got some new records coming out. We've got a new one pre-order now. It's out now. Inglorious, it's called. It's on Spotify and all that. So yeah, basically, it's just one of them, innit? You finish with your music, you finish with your tour, and you blink and a year's passed. Especially if you're lazy, you know? Cheers, man.
So out of all the rest of the lads and all that, the last 3 or 4 years, have you pretty much, you know, have you just been off music? Have you been doing other projects? Or, you know, has it just been a case you've just been doing your own thing and decided to get it back on?
I think Sweeney's give up the drink. So I don't think he even knew he was in a band. So he's like, I was in a band. I went to Moscow. Like that. So he's like, all right, mate. Nice one. So not really. I mean, like, Sean's doing some stuff. I mean, you know, he does some charity stuff and all that. But really, last day, Karl, our drummer, he was in like Afghanistan or somewhere. I don't know. He tried to organise a rehearsal in Manchester and all over the world. So yeah, I don't know what they're doing. I've not been doing much. I've just been like sunbathing. It's been good.
Looking good.
Thank you. Like the tan. Yeah, cheers.
You're back. You've got some new music, which is brilliant, because as far as my personal opinion, Revolt to Revolt was still one of the best Manchester albums of the last decade. You know what I mean? It was a top album. It's great to have you back doing music. Are we going to see any more gigs coming up or anything like that? You know, you're not going to do this and disappear. Have you got any tours, anything like that lined up?
Oh, I think we're supposed to be making an announcement about playing on this show, you know. I think apparently, that's what I've been told. Yeah, Sean told me. Well, I don't even know what the announcement's supposed to be. I think basically we're playing next week or the week after. Is that right? When is it, Anton? 2 weeks, the 24th. Alias Kid. Yeah. Here you go. I've got it wrong, apparently.
Right, Mars has got this so wrong, right? Next one was meant to be, he was meant to do a special announcement, but Sean's not briefed him properly. Sean, if you're listening. So the next one, we're taking MMTV outside of the studio. We're taking to the gym where Huey Fury trains and all that lot, and we're going to have loads of boxes there. We're going to have the stage actually in the ring, so that's where everyone's going to be playing. And his band are playing, so follow his page and look out. You're playing in a boxing ring, yeah? It's good for you two, because you and Sean can bounce off each other there, can't you? Anyway, like, I pulled you out this shit. I've got to go and set up another mic.
Nice one. We need you. We've been knackered without you. So check that out. We're going on tour, right? We're going to the next one we're doing. That shows, if you're watching at home, how rock and roll this is. Alias Kid are going to be here at the next one. So, right, you're here in 2 weeks' time, but that's still not answering my question. Can we expect any dates, any gig dates or anything like that?
Yeah, so we're playing Manchester on the 2nd of February, I think that's right. Where are we playing? Deaf Institute. Yeah. It's almost like I don't care. You know what I mean? But yeah, so yeah, we're doing that, and then we'll be doing the festivals, and you know, it just depends on what crops up really. But we'll definitely we'll be on festivals and all that sort of stuff this year, and hopefully you'll be coming along, Dave.
No doubt, yeah, no doubt we'll have that. No, seriously though, as a friend of the band and as a fan of the band as well, it is brilliant to see Alias Kid back. They are the proper rock and roll Manchester band that we needed at the time. Will you make some noise? They're back on the scene. They're with us in 2 weeks' time. Maz from Alias Kid. Go get yourself a drink, go on. Okay, next up, the next person I'd like to introduce to the stage now is a man who describes himself as a poet, a musician, and a professional gobshite. Will you please welcome Karl Hildebrandt? Hiya, Karl.
Perfect explanation, I think. Right. Got a smoker's cough, so you'll have to apologise for that. I'll have to apologise for that. Right, I'm going to do a couple of pieces. I've got a 10-minute slot, apparently. I write stuff down because it gets out of my head, and that's all that matters at the minute, what's going on in various people's lives. And I think it's something that you all have to sort of look at. Write down on a piece of paper, write down on your phone. Just get rid of what the shit is in your head. And this first one's called Crackling. And it's like space dust. You know, a little sort of crackling things you got in a packet years ago, or even pork crackling. It just gets it out of you, just sort of crackles and get out of your head. But it's an introduction to who I am. And then we'll go from there. Crackling. I'm not here to compromise on your behalf. I'm not prepared to tone it down or turn it off. I'll never be quiet if all around me is tenderly screaming blue murder. You'll hear me before you see me, and you'll feel the verbs ride up in your chest, and hearing the sound of my pages as they turn, you'll learn. You don't know me. You don't know who I am. You have a sketchy idea of height, weight and gait, colour, hair and eyes. Beyond that, you struggle, gleefully tepid in your approach, haunted yet free. You haven't heard me yet. Not a peep. You don't know what's coming up next, what I might say or not say, what may tumble from my tongue. I can see you're looking forward to it, though, all clenched in anticipation. You won't understand this at first. I may stumble over syllables and end up quietly confused, but you will become familiar with the reasons I do me. The purpose, of course, to never become hoarse. And I'm not here against my will, under my own velocity and eating my own ferocity, and I'll wash all of it down with a chilled glass of love. Mic drop. Excuse me. I'm not going to get dark tonight because it's a good uplifting evening tonight. I'm really glad that you've invited me to do a bit. I'm going to do one more. Well, I'm going to do two more actually, and I've actually included you in one. Just tweet it a little bit. I missed the neck. What I'll do is I'll do Kind Mine, which is basically no poppy, and it's a bit of a dark one, but it's not as dark as I could do. Which Kind Mine, which basically means no poppy. Fighting, disagreeing about fundamental things that keep you up and the world upright, arguing a toss about love and loss, just because you think it's right to speak such shite, all homogenised and stuffed with lies that spill over the sides like tears of a clown. Helpless and haunted, you twiddle your thumbs as the rain pisses down, sopping where stupid gets. This makes that, spinning on the spot, tender wonder divine, all mine, all mine. Chaos seized truth by the scruff of the neck and dragged it screaming through your weak, meek, mild and wild and answering to no one for all you've done, for all you haven't done, son. Reams share dreams in teams, a crap double act with a stunning knack for tat. Search out the bins and the ins and outs, clap hands to understand the instruction, formalise the plans, drip drip away all day, gobshite with nought to say, stiff up a neck. All aboard, all hands on deck. You should stay where you are, comfortable in your own skin with that cockeyed, crooked gin. An air of uncertainty, not quite filling your sails enough to keep you afloat. The shape that you are in is the shape that which will make you begin. To answer the questions that the dust settles on, to understand the upper hand is not the hand that holds you up. It's the hand that holds you down, holds you back, holds you half-heartedly hollow, promises like a bull-goading rag. And we all know how that battle ends. So in conclusion, we have very little pity for the present because our past is shoveled down our throats and we are all served up a swill of still ill, shrill mornings. Afternoons aren't delightful anymore as evening pops its tired head round the corner. We are expected to bid today a cheery exit. I can't sleep anymore, nor any less. I can only dream, and those dreams keep me awake. Mic drop. Oh, that's lovely. Right, you've seen all the telly stuff, haven't you, about Gift Gaff and Nationwide and all them poets that are on? Everyone gets that little bit of a, whatever the fee that they get, and I'm not jealous about them getting any money. I'm just jealous about them getting some kind of exposure every time I turn my telly on. And I've known a few of them over the years, and I've worked with a few of them, and they're all knobheads. But literally knobheads, especially that slightly long man from Prestwich. But that's another, talk to me at the bar about that later. But poets always do a list poem. It's one of the things that we do. We could do like a little stanza, we could do a little sort of, do a sonnet, we could do 14 lines, we can do whatever. But we always do, which is the title of this one, is Another Bastard List Poem About Manchester. Slightly altered for you as well, lad, and for Nick. Angry Anton from Ordenshaw spilling his coffee. Anton is livid. Where is he? You know? Jesus Christ, hang on a minute. Fucking hell. You're not fucking Nicky Lockett, mate. I know who Nicky Lockett is. Right, Dave Sweetmore. Mate, fucking hell. Right, I'll start again. Right, so you know where it's going now. Angry Anton from Ordenshaw spilling his coffee. Anton's livid. Both-eyed Brenda from Burnage moaning about the darkies. She got sent to 2 eyes. Crappy Colin from Collier's addicted to Jeremy Kyle. He's on a show next week. Dickhead Dave from Disbury in his knitted yogurt hat. Dave's a twat. Eager Elaine from Ellesmere Park sells Avron. And so does her dad. Forlorn Frida from Fallowfield works down the bookies and she hates horses. Grubby Graham from Gatley collects toenail clippings. Not necessarily his own. Happy Ellen from the Eatons sleeps with her gardener viciously and often. Ellen thinks Dave's a twat as well. Irate Ian from Earlham. Not you, mate. Just wind it in, obviously. No, honestly. If you're sleeping with your gardener from Earlham, don't worry about it. Right, hang on. Where have we gone now? Yeah. Irate Ian from Earlham plays Warhammer on his own. He's lost his dice. Twice. Jealous John has just caught Ellen in the shed, wearing a grow bag. Kindly Karl writes it all down and smiles sometime. Lady Lisa from Levenshulme hates her kids and her mum, but it's her own fault. Or Dave's. You choose. Mad ass Mark from Moston wishes Hitler was still alive. He's a bigger twat than Dave. Normal Norman from Northern Moor isn't normal. He's well fucking weird, to be honest. Obnoxious Olive from Ordsall only eats on Thursdays. She's a beast, but she's happy. Pedantic Paul from Prestwich once bought Mark E. Smith a pint, and he drank it himself. Quirky Quentin from Queen's Road likes to juggle sharp things. He's only got one hand. Ridiculous Richard from Reddish makes artisan pencils from dust he's collected and sells them to that twat called Dave. Not you. I'll do you a poem next time, mate. Don't worry. I'll send it over to you. Don't worry. I'm going through the alphabet here. Sickly little Simon from Salford hasn't been out in years. It's down to the fact he's in strange ways doing a 20 stretch. Timmy Teresa from Timpley likes gardening in the nude, but she only has a window box. Only when we're Ursula from Urmston once went out with Dave. Not that Dave. A different Dave. Victoria from Vicky Ave swears that she's still a virgin. She's Dave's mum. Wendy from Withington once went to Blackpool on her own. It was shut. We're getting into that bit of the alphabet now where you just can't really do anything with it, so bear with me, yeah, bear with me. Excited Xavier from Exeter is a more mature student studying art at MMU. Smells of pencils and cheap speed. Yellow Yvonne owns the local Chinese chippy and she sells out-of-date forks. And because there's an out to rhyme with Z, we'll all call Dave a twat instead.
Do I thank him or punch him? Will you make some noise for Karl Hildebrandt, please? Come on.
Nice one, mate. Cheers.
Cheers, mate. Nice one, Carl. Thank you so much.
Just say I'm not a gardener from Didsbury, I'm a DJ from Heywood, but anyway. Listen, this is MMTV 6. If you are watching at home, it's a bizarre show, but it's going well so far. It is our 6th edition. Please do share it. Let's get as many people watching it as we possibly can. It is proper rock and roll television from Miles Platin in Manchester. And as far as Manchester legends go, we have got another one. He's a brand new part of the show. And every time I come across this fella, I get dead excited because 1, he's a top man, and 2, I never know what is going to happen. Will you make some noise for MC Tunes, my old mate? First of all, right, let's have a little bit of a chat here and see what's going to be going on. Should we move that over here?
No, just it's okay.
Right, first of all, let's find out what you're going to be doing on the show.
I don't know, Dave. I was phoned up. Anton gave me a call and said, we need you down at Marley. I said, what for? He said, you got to help Dave out.
Well, listen, do you know on the way here, what did the missus say about you bringing kitchen cupboard with you?
That's not to do with me. We need to talk about my budget. I'm sorry.
It's a cupboard door, that, mate.
Where's me rider? This isn't me. Right, Dave.
1 CD deck.
What? Just the one?
We'll get you another one.
No.
As the show progresses, we'll get you more and more.
So, in all seriousness, I want to talk about my budget. And also, that guy is either the funniest person alive or...
the pissest.
Because I was the only one laughing for 40 minutes. She was chuckling. Everybody else took it dead serious, and I knew he was joking.
And everyone's going to call me a twat for the rest of my life.
I knew you were funny. But I didn't want to be the only one laughing, and I felt really bad. I was hiding over there, but you are the funniest guy alive.
Listen.
I swear to God, give him a show. Give him a show. Give him a show.
Listen, coming up shortly, we are going to be talking to legendary boxing coach Bobby Rimmer. But in the meantime, for the next 5 minutes, will you please welcome a true gent and a true Manchester legend, MC Tunes.
Yeah, I mean, clearly, obviously, I wasn't expecting to do this. But what I'll do is I'll play some music in between the gaps. How about that? Get yourself a drink, chill out. The next thing's coming up. It's going to happen sooner or later. idea. I'm deaf in both ears, me. Yeah, it's all right. I'm in your way, mate. Don't worry about it. Yeah, it's sweet, man.
What you do then, I'll ask you to tell us a music story or something like that, and then we'll get Bobby River on, yeah?
Okay.
All right, yeah. Okay, this is MMTV 6. We have got MC Tunes with us. He is going to be our guest on all of the MMTVs from now on. One thing I want to do is, he don't know that yet, but, you know. One thing I do want to do, right, is I've known this fella for a long, long time, and honestly, I'd love it if one day somebody does his life story, because it would be brilliant, not just for the crack, but for the amount of stuff he's done in music that people don't realise about. So one thing I'd like to do is ask him to tell us a story.
Okay. What sort of story, Scary?
Any? Surprise me. I've absolutely put him on the spot here.
What's the watershed?
Tell us a funny one about music.
About music, okay. Well, I heard a story about, anybody hear the one about Led Zeppelin, Jimmy Page? Well, he was notorious for shitting his pants, right? So, no, this is rock and roll law. Did nobody hear it? Fine. Anyway, so Jimmy Page, on a flight, New York to Tokyo, something like that, right? Shat his pants. And paid a roadie called Dave to...
Thank you, good night.
I'm sure he was in the 70s, way before your time. So, shat himself in first class. What you going to do, rock and roll, eh? And then paid, there was a roadie called Dave who was actually paid for that exact occasion. Because he was notorious for shitting his pants, Jimmy Page.
So what did he get paid to do?
Just change pants with Jimmy. This is the law. That was it. That was his job. And he earned a lot of money, apparently.
Back in the day, right, the only rhyme that bites, MC Tunes, 808 State.
Yeah.
Did you have anyone change pants with
you? I cannot answer that question.
Will you make
On
some
the
noise for
ground,
MC
I
Tunes?
may,
Come on,
intimidate
top man.
myself.
He is going to be here with Tunes News, and I do believe he's going to play another song for us soon. First of all, though, another thing what we have been doing a lot, this is our 6th edition of MMTV. If you are watching at home, we have been covering a lot of sports. We've had football managers here, and we do cover a lot of boxing as well. Obviously, it's a massive, massive thing in this part of the world, and as far as boxing coaches go, there's none more significant than Bobby Rimmer. He's with us. Make some noise, Bobby Rimmer. Right, listen, Bobby, I want to take you in a 5-minute... Yeah, chill out, man, chill out. Some nice cushions here. No expense spared. MMTV cushions. Fancy a scrap later. Boxing gloves. Listen, I've been doing a bit of homework about you. I want to go through your life in literally 5 minutes' time, right? You began boxing at a very, very early age at Ardwick Lads Club, and doing the research, what I've done for this show tonight is your life has pretty much been boxing. You've lived and breathed it. Being a lad, going to Ardwick Lads Club back in the day, what was it about boxing? What got you into it?
You know what it was? Like, from where we all was, I was one of 5 brothers, and my mum and dad. So it was like there was no love at home. You know what I mean? It was a hard graft. But it sounds really strange. But in the boxing gym, you was part of a family, part of a team. You know, you was like it was a safe place for you to be. You know, and it sounds really, really strange that you'd find love in a boxing gym, but that's what it was all about. You know, you liked it that much that your parents, you know, they could do anything. You could beat you up or do whatever, but to stop you go to the boxing gym, it used to fucking kill you. Do you know what I mean? Because that was the place that you felt the most, you know, happy. Even though you was beating holes out of each other, that was part of it. Do you know what I mean?
You started going to the boxing club at the age of 11, and at the age of 18, against the advice of everyone. So I believe. At the age of 18, you ignored what everyone said, and you decided to turn professional. It was obviously something you really wanted to do. How did that transition go? You know, how did you turn professional, and what was your life like at that time?
You get to a point where you've done everything. You know, you get as far as you can get in amateur. Boxing's about one thing. It's about levels. So you get to as far as you can in the amateur game, and then you think, right, okay, I can't get any further in this, so I'll turn pro. And my mate Karl Bailey was a pro, and that was the reason I turned pro, because I wanted to train with Karl Bailey, and I wanted to, you know, you wanted a little bit of limelight and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? You know, anybody who says they don't like the television and don't like being on a telly, they're telling fucking lies. You know, that's the top and bottom of it. You know what I mean? They go, oh no, I shy away from the telly, liar. You know, so it kind of gives you a bit of notoriety being a pro. And you know, before you say anything, I'll say it. I had 14 fights, won 7, lost 7. It's fucked it, hasn't it? but what I tell everybody, no randos, I tell everybody. I say, yeah. Every one of my fights was exciting. That's what they call me. They call me the KO Kid. So. Because I used to knock people fucking spark out. But,
Let's make that clear.
Yeah, so you better be careful, ain't you? So, but yeah, so, you know, and then, like, when I got to the level I got to in professional boxing, then I couldn't go no further. No, and I kept all my senses. I could have carried on, but I would have ended up talking through a straw or something, you know what I mean? So you
made that transition from boxing to being a coach. Was that a big transition, or was it a pretty easy thing to do?
I finished boxing competitively in 1985, and then I met Karl and the lads, and then I think I took my first ecstasy tablet in 1988. Sweat It Out it was called, wasn't it? On the 8th of October, I'll never forget it. Because someone gave me this tablet and I thought, fuck me, I can dance after all. I went from being a shit dancer to the best ever overnight, so it all got a bit hazy then. And then I started helping out in an amateur gym. And then I decided to, you know, that's what I wanted to do, because it kind of gave me the same buzz as it did when I was boxing. You know, you're back involved in it again. I suppose it's like the music industry, when you're in it and then you leave it and you miss it. You know, no matter, you know, you miss it and you come back to it. And it's so I always tell everyone that bad boxers make great coaches. I'm right.
Do you know what? Just listening to you there, or you went from boxing to being a coach and all that, you're still heavily involved in it. You must have seen some massive success stories over the years. And when I say that, I don't just mean like fights, people winning in the ring. I mean changing people's lives and stuff like that. If I had to ask you now, what are your favourite success stories of being, being a coach? What would they be?
It's Brian Rose. It's obviously Brian Rose. I mean, I met Brian 12 years ago. I went to Anthony Farnell's gym. I took Mike Gomez training. There was a kid stood in the corner, and he looked a little bit quiet and a little bit scared, and he didn't want to be there. And then Anthony Farnell said, "Oh, that's Brian Rose." And this Brian Rose was an absolutely superb amateur boxer, but he'd had a lot of shit in his life and a lot of trouble. Do you know what I mean? So he'd had a bad injury. He had a bad manager. So I started talking to him, and he moved in my house that day. He moved, from meeting him that day, I felt not sorry for him, but I didn't think he was in a good place. So he moved in my house that day.
So you met him that day and he moved in your
He moved in my house that day.
Where was he living?
He was living in Blackpool with his parents, who were absolutely fantastic. But he'd signed up with his horrible manager, and he'd got hurt and got injured, and he wasn't boxing. So he moved in with me that day, and we went from there to fighting for the world title in New York. He won everything you could win as a professional boxer. English title, Central Area title, outright winning Lonsdale belt, WBO Intercontinental, and then we went on to fight for the world title in New York.
Brilliant story, and I know Brian was meant to be here tonight. Sadly, he can't be with us. But obviously, at the moment, you've got Bobby Rimmer's Boxing Academy going in Stalybridge. That's just one success story you've told us. And I'm sure, just listening to you, I'm sure you've changed many kids' lives without even realising it. You know what I mean, in what you do. What are the future plans for Bobby Rimmer, and what are the future plans for the Boxing Academy?
Well, my son Robert is now a really good coach, and that all belongs to him now. He's in charge of it all because I go to California a lot now, don't I? I train a kid called Rampage Jackson in California. So I'm over there all the time in California. So Robert takes care of the gym here. It's his gym, and all I'm there to do now is just to help him when he needs the help. Yeah. He's a great coach. He's got a great gym of fighters. I'm so proud of him. He's doing so good. And, I'm proud of all my kids, but I'm proud of Robert for what he's done. And he's running a great gym. He's got a great stable of fighters, and I'm there just like to advise him when he needs a bit of help, because I'm off in California sunning myself out. As you do.
Well, I'll tell you what, Bobby, right, it's been an absolute pleasure coming down on at MMTV tonight. Changing people's lives is what you do. It's the nature of the game. It's a great story, what you've done with Brian and everything. Good luck for the future. Enjoy California. Will you make some noise, please, for the one and only Bobby Rimmer? Okay, we're going to hand you back over to the one and only MC Tunes.
Yeah, why? Right, what? So is this where I play a song? Right, okay. It's a work in progress, so this is the Apples.
Hang on a minute. Tunes, come here. You're going nowhere, you pal. Listen, this is MMTV 6, and on board now we have got the legendary Mancunian. It is MT Tunes. We're going to play a little game that he knows nothing about now, right? It's called Ask Tunes. This man has got more stories than you can actually imagine. So we're going to play a game called Ask Tunes. Who's going to ask the first question? Right, go for it. What about that fucking wall in Mexico?
Well, me, I feel like walls keep you in, so I don't know. What do I know? I mean, but walls are usually to keep you in, as opposed to keep people out, so.
Anyone watching this at home now will be enthralled with that. What are the feelings on vegetarian sausage rolls?
Oh, man. Well, I tell you what, right? Noodly arms are not me. And I know that people, I've seen a couple of guys on YouTube that kind of pump up and you go, oh, I'm a vegan. You're not vegan. Yeah. You're not a vegan, mate.
You're a dickhead.
Oh, tofu meat. Tofu?
Tofu, yeah.
Tofu? No, not me, that. Sorry.
One more question. This is a brand new game, this. We're going to do it every time because it's brilliant. Ask Tunes. Who's going to ask one more? Right, go for it. Question. Yes, best question. Have you got the album coming out?
Oh, well, I don't mind. I'll give you that $5 in a bit, love. Thank you. Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know about an album coming out, but I've got a series of EPs. I'm in the studio on January 18th working with a new producer called Dirty Freud. You see, now, I heard his name and when I'm working with him. Read into that whatever you want. But, yeah, I am, I'm working, I'm writing. This is why I've got nothing prepared for today, because I'm writing a lot on the new album with the Dust Junkies. So, yeah.
Brilliant. We make some noise. He don't know it, but he's here every time now. MC Tunes. You have been watching MMTV 6 at home. Thank you for joining us live from the Marley Mancunia studios. Anyone in the audience, by the way, who wants any merchandise, I do believe we have got some T-shirts and badges and all that kind of stuff down here, have we? Hello? Yeah, we have. We've got some merchandise. Hiya. We've got some merchandise down here if anyone wants anything. That is going to be available online as well. The next MMTV takes place 2 weeks tonight. All the information on that and how you can be in the studio audience will be on Facebook over the next week or so. But to finish off tonight, will you please welcome one of our favourite bands from Manchester at the moment. They're here to do an acoustic set for us. Will you please welcome the Big Peach?
Thank you. Thank you. This one's called
Pleasure
Running
to be
High.
here.
It's a new song of ours.
Tired of
Thank you. This one's called All You Gotta Do Is Ask. It's our new single. It's out on the 25th of Jan.
Anytime you want me, you know you can have me. All you gotta do is ask. Anytime you worry, don't worry, honey. You know it all will pass. Anytime you need me, just reach out and touch me. I'll be coming home to you. Oh, 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 oh. Anytime you need me, just come out and find me. I'll be lying on the grass. All you gotta do is ask. Anytime you want me, you know you can have me. All you gotta do is ask. Anytime you worry, don't worry, honey. You know it all will pass. Anytime you need me, just reach out and touch me. I'll be coming home to you. Ooh, 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 ooh. All you gotta do is ask. 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 All you gotta do is ask.
Thank you.
There we go, MMTV. We make some noise for the Big Peach. Come on. And the Big Peach are going to be live on my Revolution 96.2 show on Sunday night from 6 in the studio, yeah? So make sure you tune into that. That does bring us to the end of another MMTV Volume 6. Thank you so much. If you have been watching at home, please do share it. We are back here 2 weeks tonight on the 24th of January. Make sure you follow all the usual social media pages to find out who's on and how you can be in the studio audience. But for tonight, a massive thank you to the Big Peach. Thank you to the C33s. Thank you to Mass from Alias Kid. To Karl Hildebrandt. To Bobby Rimmer, legendary boxing coach. And the one and only MC Tunes. Can we have a massive round of applause for Anton Neck, who put this on and make it happen. And of course our sound and camera crew. And obviously everyone in the studio audience, give yourselves a round of applause. And thank you for joining us. Thank you viewers at home. We'll see you back here at Marley Mancunia Studios 2 weeks tonight for MMTV 7. Enjoy the rest of the week. Happy New Year. Good night.